From Texas.
Mr. Speaker, I'm delighted to yield to the distinguished gentlelady from California, Ms. Bass, who has a long history of working with children, of arguing and advocating against the mistreatment of foster care children who find themselves disproportionately involved and subjected to the potential of human trafficking. I want to thank her for her leadership. She's a co-sponsor of this legislation and a member of the House Judiciary Committee. I yield her 2 minutes.
The gentlelady from California is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I rise in support of the National Human Trafficking Hotline. This legislation, I also want to join in with my colleagues in wishing well Judge Poe and wishing him a speedy recovery. He has been a leader on this issue for many, many years, and the hotline is a critical feature of how we can address human trafficking in our country. I also support the resources being managed under Health and Human Services, and I believe it reflects the current awareness and knowledge that this really shouldn't be managed by law enforcement. We have all heard the stories of women and children who have been taken from location to location and forced to have sex against their will. Currently, there are more cases of human trafficking reported in California than in any other state. This hotline has served as a lifeline, vital resource to human trafficking victims and their advocates. In California alone, this year, there have been over 3,000 calls received on the hotline, resulting in over 1,000 human trafficking cases being reported, nearly a third of which are minors. Unfortunately, there is a growing body of evidence that youth who fall through the cracks in the foster care system end up trafficked. As of 2012 in California, 50 to 80% of the commercially exploited children had been involved in the child welfare system. 58% of sexually trafficked girls in the Los Angeles County Star Court in 2012 were underage and were connected to the foster care system. In Los Angeles, we're fortunate to have a Star Court, but the purpose of this court is to deal with underage children who have been trafficked. I recently hosted an event in my district in order to train faith leaders in my community to identify and direct resources to women and girls who have been victims of trafficking. Often it is a member of our communities who are the first line of defense for these girls. We must work to break the foster care to child sex trafficking.
Let me yield the gentlelady an additional minute.
Gentlewoman, next 30 seconds.
We must work to break the foster care to child sex trafficking victim pipeline by continuing to fund additional programs like the National Human Trafficking Hotline to help identify victims and provide them with the resources that they need. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield the remainder of my time.